I don't think Danielle's texted yet, so all good.
I was in a slump.
Nobody in 32 years could do it.
Full capacity at Razorback Stadium.
Right here in Hot Springs, and Hank Aaron was one of them.
I don't think a team could have played any harder than we played the second half.
All right, what a week it was here in Arkansas. Welcome on into the Final Score. I'm Troy Lynch, the guy who sits at this desk, and we get to talk about some Arkansas sports. And this week, let me tell you, was a real good one for the Hogs. Back-to-back wins in conference play for the first time all year, and it feels even better when this happened right after Arkansas got smoked in back-to-back games just a week ago. You know, after that 31-point loss to Alabama, this team just lost all of its confidence, and you know what? Nobody knew where to find it, but we did find it in DESI SILLS Wednesday night. He came alive in the second half against Auburn, scoring 14 of his 22 points right after halftime. And then also, freshman JALEN Williams, he was great the whole game. None of his stats were that eye-popping, just that one dunk that lit up Bud Walton Arena, that one right there. He had 7 points, 7 rebounds, a couple of assists, and a couple of blocks. And it may not sound like a lot, but his plus-minus was 16 in the game, which is way higher than any other player. But Coach Muss couldn't get over how much energy his team had coming out of the locker room.
I would take that effort and the energy they played with, you know, anywhere against anybody.
I was in a slump, and my teammates kept on talking to me, encouraged me, keep my head up high, and I just kept working each and every day, and I feel like it paid off tonight.
When you go through a stretch like we've had, you know, you start to take a look at yourselves in the mirror, man, and just try to do what we can to come together. That was definitely something we did. We all came together in the first half and tried to say, like, let's go out here and just really just leave it all on the court, man, and we did a great job of doing that.
They sure did. Of course, we got to bring it back down to earth. The whole game wasn't great. In fact, the first half was kind of rough for the Hogs. They were down by 19 points at one time, and they cut it down to 12 right before halftime. But the Hogs just can't keep doing that if they want to be a top team in the SEC. The team has been there before, and they honestly can't dig themselves out every single time. But they were able to do it against the Tigers.
I thought even when we were down 19, I thought in our huddles, we had a little bit different belief than maybe we did our past 2 games.
You just got to believe. You know, with the 75-73 win, the Hogs, they get the season sweep over Auburn. A little confidence boost before they took a trip to Nashville to take on the last place Commodores. But this was a weird game for the Razorbacks, mainly because they were good the whole game. They won by 21, and here's the kicker. They never trailed. They were sharing the ball like Oprah gives out free stuff. They passed the ball 218 times, which resulted in 22 assists out of the 36 shots they made. Jalen Tate had a career game, 25 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds, and 4 steals. And also can't forget about freshman Moses Moody. He put up 26 points and 8 rebounds, leading the team to back-to-back conference wins. First time all season they've been able to do that.
Not only did Jalen really score the ball, have a ton of assists with 8 assists, 4 steals, then add in the fact that he held the second leading scorer in the league to shoot under 50% and to only score 15 points and to probably have what I'm going to assume is close to a season low in free throws attempted.
He's very dynamic, and it makes a lot of the rest of our jobs a lot easier.
I thought he played really, really, really well today. You know, took really high quality shots as well.
Be patient and let the game come to me. Get to the rim as much as possible. Get to the free throw line. Just attack the basket. That was one of my key focuses for today.
Moses Moody has been fantastic all year. And now for the bad against the Commodores. And wait, I don't think there was anything bad against Vandy. Actually, I asked Coach in the press conference right after the game what he thought about his team and what they could have done better. This is what he had to say.
I'm sure when we do our cleanup film that we'll find something. We usually do, but, you know, not often you go on the road and lead for 39 minutes and the opponent doesn't lead in a game for 1 second. So really happy with our pace of play, really happy with how hard we played, really happy with how we shared the basketball.
Easily one of the best games of the season for the Hogs. And here's how the week looks after week 4 of conference play. Let's bring up those conference standings. And Arkansas still right smack in the middle, tied with Mississippi State for 7th right now. Both teams with a 4-4 SEC record, but the top 5 has been shaken up quite a bit. I mean, not Alabama. They're they're still the top team. They're crazy right now. But Missouri just beat Tennessee, dropping the Volunteers to 5th. The Tigers are in 2nd. And the Tigers are in 3rd. Well, should I say LSU is in 3rd. That's crazy. They lost their 2 games this week. Florida won 2 in a row. One of them against number 6 Tennessee. So they're 4th. And the Hogs, they got Ole Miss coming up on Wednesday, who's 1 spot behind them. The Rebels also won both of their games in week 4. Hey, that is going to be one fun one. I can't wait to watch that game. And hey, when we come back, we're going to bring you a new segment where Nick and we're going to tell you about what we thought was hogtastic and hogwash this week. Just keep it right here on The Final Score. All right, I'm excited. Nick, I know you're excited. It's time to have some fun with a brand new segment that I like to call Hogtastic or Hogwash. So we're bringing Nick in because I can't do this by myself. What we're going to do is we're just going to take Arkansas sports and we're going to tell you whether this past week, if they were hogtastic or hogwash. Nick, you cool with that?
I'm absolutely cool with that.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
pumped. Any new segment's going to be really fun.
Oh, obviously. So the final score, we're bringing it to new heights.
And I want to give credit to Troy here. Look at these.
Right?
Look at Troy in his work this week. Everybody, give a little love to this man.
If I don't get a raise, I'm complaining to Wes. Let's just put it that way, okay? All right, so obviously I'm holding up Eric Musselman's head. So the first topic of discussion, Arkansas men's basketball. Nick, this past week, do you think that they were hogtastic or hogwash? And we are going to reveal on 3. Are you ready for that?
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. We both got hogtastic. Okay, yeah. I like it. Why do you think so?
There's no question that the Hogs were hogtastic this week, Troy. 2 wins against Auburn and Alabama. And, of course, against Auburn, they
You mean Vanderbilt?
Oh, excuse me, against Vanderbilt. The crazy comeback against Auburn. They were down by almost 20 points there in that game and came all the way back. And a big reason why was DESI SILLS. He led the team with 22 points. And the last time they played Auburn earlier in January, he scored 23. So whenever DESI SILLS is clicking, they have the chance to take down a team like Auburn. And JALEN Williams, the freshman center, he really showed out. He's that center that the Hogs really need, a big 6'11" guy. He was second on the team in minutes versus Auburn with 28. He had a big 3-pointer, a putback dunk, and of course, he had 0 minutes there. He had 0 points, that is, against Vanderbilt. But it's good to see another big man besides Vanover filling in and making an impact. And Moses Moody, he was quiet versus Auburn with 5 points, but came back strong against Vanderbilt with 26 points. I'm excited next week to see if Moses Moody could step it up against his former teammate at Montverde in Cade Cunningham at Oklahoma State. And Jalen Tate, he's been great lately. I mean, 14 points versus Auburn, 25 points versus Vandy, and that's what Eric Musselman wants. He's been saying he needs to get that production from the point guard position, especially after all the turnovers after that 2-game losing streak with LSU and Alabama. So a great performance from the Hogs. That deserves a hogtastic vote.
Well, just take everything from me, Nick. Gosh, you just covered everything. But yeah, no, I'm going to agree with Nick. Hogtastic. I'll keep mine a little bit shorter. But yeah, 21-point over Vanderbilt. Yeah, sure. Vanderbilt's the last ranked team in the SEC right now, so that's exactly what they should have done, and they were down their second leading scorer in that game. However, here's the thing. They just got the job done. JALEN Williams and everybody, they are just unselfish basketball. 22 assists. They passed the ball 218 times. That's an actual stat we found out, and they ended up winning by 21. So I think it was a week where they should have gone 2-0, and that's exactly what they did. Granted, I was very nervous about that Auburn game because they did beat them on the road earlier this year, and then they were down by 19, and I'm like, oh boy, this could be 3 losses in a row in SEC play. That could have been the season right there, but I'm glad they found their confidence because they almost lost it.
And keep in mind, Troy, they entered the week losing 4 of their last 5, and that's a situation where Eric Musselman, the honeymoon is over.
Yeah.
It felt like this team was on a slump, and they could have continued that. Hell, they could have gone 0-2 this week, and look where they'd be. There'd be no way they'd make any kind of tournament at the end of this season, but a big turnaround from the team. And hey, in those 2 losses against Alabama and LSU, they lost the turnover battle bad. Well, in this week, they won the turnover battle each time, and that's a big reason why they got that 2-game win streak. But a big thing to look out for is ranked opponents. They haven't gotten a single win against a ranked opponent. They're 0-3 this year against those ranked opponents, and that's going to be a test later this season. We're excited to see.
All right, we talked a lot about Arkansas basketball. They did almost beat number 9 Tennessee. That was a real close game, lost by 5. But now we got to talk about a big ranked game in the women's basketball world. We're talking about number 15 Arkansas taking on number 3 UConn, the 11-time champ. All right, on 3, Nick, what do we think about this game? Hogtastic or hogwash? 3, 2, 1. I got Hogtastic.
Hogtastic.
And so do you. All right. Why?
Give me some competition. You got to love Mike Neighbors. He's talked all week about how excited his team is to be playing. Chelsea Dungy's balling out. She's been scoring, I think, 2 of the last games. She's put up 30-plus. So this is a game where, since they lost that game due to Vanderbilt canceling their own season, it's a great test for these Hogs, and they decide to go out and not get a cakewalk game, but instead going up against probably the best women's basketball team we've seen in this century.
Yeah, no, of all time, I think UConn, you got to put them up there. However, I said Hogtastic just because I think Arkansas has nothing to lose. You know, if they win, it's a huge deal. If they lose, it was as to be expected. However, I do believe that there is potential for this to be hogwash, just because the Providence game that UConn was supposed to have just got postponed. So the next up on UConn's schedule is Arkansas. They have so much time to kind of review the film, see what the Hogs are all about. So it could get dangerous in that point, but however, they did take on number 25 Tennessee, and they only beat them by 6. That was the only SEC team that they played this year. So I think since Arkansas is ranked 15th, this could be a close one.
Yeah, and similar to the men's team, the women's Razorbacks team haven't had a win against a ranked opponent. They're 0-5 this season. So you got to believe that
they do. They beat number 4 Baylor at the time.
At number 4 at the time. Gotcha.
At the time. They're number 9 right now.
I would imagine that Mike Neighbors is a guy, and he's said it all week, that they crave competition, and they want to give their players the best chance to have a huge, monstrous win against a really legendary team like UConn.
All right, let's keep this one a little bit shorter. How about the women's basketball season overall? They're 11-5 overall, and then 2-4 in conference play. Kind of shocking for a ranked team, but what are we thinking right now? Hogtastic or hogwash? 3, 2, 1. Yeah.
One hogwash.
I got hogwash too.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to tell you real quick why I think that's hogwash, and it's not necessarily the overall season. I'm talking more about SEC play. You're the number 15 team in the country, and you're 2-4. Listen, I know that Arkansas is one of the toughest schedules in the country, but you got to do a little bit better. You beat Mizzou, you beat Florida. That's great, but you lost to Tennessee on the road, and then all the other ranked opponents in the SEC, they lost you pretty handily. And then against top 12 teams in the country, they are 1-4. So that is just, to me, for a top 15 team, you got to be a little bit more competitive than that.
Yeah, Troy, you took the words out of my mouth, and their last game was against South Carolina, who's one of the best teams in the entire country, and certainly the best team in the SEC. They lost 104-82. They played the Gamecocks pretty close, and then the game just got away from them.
That's what Coach Neighbors said. Do we have his fat head, or do we have his cardboard cow? Come on, we got to show him.
We apologize to Mike Neighbors that he is so hogwashed right here. But I feel like the women's Razorbacks team, they have a chance to get better, of course, and they have a lot of good games, especially against UConn. They can make a huge statement, even really keeping that game close. But look at Chelsea Dungy, the senior that's really been the star of that team for years now. And she has had 30-plus points in 2 of the last 4 games. The last time she scored less than 20 was in December against UALR. So this is a star right here for the Razorbacks that can really help turn things around. And I just like that Mike Neighbors is still pushing the team to be at their best. Yeah. Scheduling a team like UConn. And so there's a lot of potential there. But like, as Troy said, 2-4 in conference play so far. That's not really going to cut it for a team that had such high expectations coming into the season.
Listen, I know it's easy for us to say just because we haven't played 5 top 12 opponents, but you know, if you're number 15 in the country, I think you got to at least cut that deficit in half. All right, but we want to talk about the most hogtastic thing that we saw all week, and this one was a no-brainer. This happened at the Arkansas-Auburn game this past Wednesday, and Sam Pittman was at that game cheering on the Hogs, but also Kanan Sandy, Hall of Fame super fan for the Razorbacks. So they came over, shared a masked-up hug, and then after that, he signed his lifelong season tickets. And then if this doesn't warm your heart, you must have a rock for a heart. Because I saw this and I started to get emotional a little bit. Best thing I saw all week.
If you are from Arkansas, if you're a Razorbacks fan, heck, you could be a Red Wolves fan. You love Kanan Sandy. He represents the state like nobody else.
We've both met him, and it was one of like the coolest experiences of me being in Arkansas. He's such an Arkansas treasure, and just to see this happen, you know, I'm sure they've met before, but this is just so cool.
This is not hogtastic. It's not hogwash. It's hog wild.
It's hog wild how hogtastic it is. We've been saying hog too many times. I'm getting kind of sick of it.
Yeah. It's my favorite word in the dictionary at this point, okay?
Yeah, it really is. Hey, we got so much more coming up on the Final Score. Do not go away. We'll be right back. It's hogtastic, baby. A couple of weeks ago, the Arkadelphia community lost one of its longtime and beloved coaches. Jasper Benton was a junior high football and basketball coach and died of a stroke at the age of 66. Our own Nick Walters talked to the community to see how Coach Benton touched their lives.
Under a gloomy sky in central Arkansas, Arkadelphia High School reflects on the life of a coach 2 weeks since his passing. Junior high football and basketball coach Jasper Benton died of a stroke at age 66 on January 8th. The lives Coach Benton has touched in his 28 years working at Arkadelphia has kids and coworkers missing the man, remembering his legacy, and thanks to the light he shined, knowing he now dons a halo.
I worked with Coach Benton 24 years. He was just that type of person that he left an impact on you. He was, as I said, a humble coach. Kids loved to play for him. He had a way of talking to kids as he would talk to anybody. Anything he touched, a thing that he did, he would leave a legacy for people to remember Coach Benton by.
He was the type of person to make you feel like you could do anything you wanted to do. If you say you couldn't do something, he would tell you that you could. If you didn't get something right, he'd make you do it again over and over until you got it right. He taught me to keep my head up during tough times. Everyone here, we're gonna remember him. He's gonna live as a legend.
He was more than a coach. He was there for everybody. He loved everybody. He wanted to see everybody succeed, and not just in the sport, but in life. And he was always full of life lessons. And he'll be remembered for all the lives he impacted.
That's one of the hardest things I've had to deal with in my life, losing a friend and a coach. He was a unique individual. He was a epitome of a teacher coach. You know, we have on our contract teacher coach, but he really taught and he really coached. So, and he did it all, and he did it with humbleness, and did it with greatness, and did it with enthusiasm. And he was the type of person, if you needed anything done, Coach Benton would do it for you gladly. Well, he would not, he complained.
I've known Coach Benton for 28 years. He started in Arkadelphia the same year I did. You know, in 28 years, there's not a kid or family that had students that came through the Arkadelphia public school system, especially in middle school if they played basketball, football, track, that were not affected by Coach Benton. Whether it's a bus driver, a coach, or a teacher, he has touched all of those kids. So there's not a family in this town that doesn't have some type of memory of Coach Benton, and they're always going to remember that with their child.
Nick Walters, Fox 16.
Wow, Coach Benton, a great man, and he will definitely be missed. All right, coming up right after the break, we're going to end things on a fun note. We got the top plays. That's a good one right there. Keep it right here on the Final Score. Don't go anywhere. You know, we've had a lot of fun tonight. We've also learned a lot about Arkansas sports and each other. But now, I would like all of us to just sit back and enjoy, because it's time for the top plays of the week. Let's hit it. Number 5, Arkansas and Auburn. Tate passing it to Justin Smith, flying through the air for the alley-oop. Yeah, there were people, check this out, even bowing down after the play. Oh, that's too funny. And that's just number 5. I love that play. But number 4, how about some deja vu? Once again, Tate back to Smith in transition. The lob and the jam. Oh, I love it so much. You know, at this point, you just knew Vanderbilt didn't have a chance. Tate had 8 assists on this one to help Arkansas win by 21. Number 3 comes from what should have been the 2026 6A state title game. Kyler Hudson throwing it down. Yeah, that's right. Central dominating Conway 70-46 in this one. Tigers are number 2 in the state right now, and they look scary, especially Kyler. So that's 3 alley-oops in a row. Do we have a 4th? No. Number 2 came from a Harding pole vaulter named Dorian Shinyu. He's the number 1 Division II pole vaulter in the country, and he set the record for highest vault in school history, indoor or out, at 16 feet 10 inches. He broke the 32-year-old school record just a week ago, then broke his own record again on Friday. You gotta love it. That's number 2, but you also gotta love this. SILLS driving in. He misses, but JALEN Williams comes out of nowhere, putting down the hammer Thor style. That was the loudest Bud Walton Arena has been all season. The freshman showing out. Arkansas went on to beat Auburn by 2, and that's your number 1 play of the week. And just so you don't forget, if you have a top play that we weren't able to get to, please send your submission to me. My email is tlynch@fox16.com. We're looking for the best 5 every week. It doesn't matter what age, level, gender, or sport. We want to see the best the natural state has to offer, so send in those top plays. But that is all the sports I have for you today. I know, don't be sad, but thank you so much for hanging out with us. Chris, Holly, Kristen, is that Lane? Yeah, Lane's here too. He says goodbye. So thank you so much for watching The Final Score. We'll see you next week.